Who we got over here? Hello.
It's not such an easy language to learn.
No.
Although,
Tell us about the time with the terrible smell.
the terrible smell. Oh, that's the piss cannery. They said the terrible smell was from a piss cannery, and I remember Rolf saying, "Gee, they don't waste much here, do they?" But they can't say F. So that turned into a P, so it was the fish cannery, of course. And
I do love that, the marvellous quote from the Bible. In Pigeon, it's great.
No, it wasn't from the Bible. It was when the Pope excommunicated Martin Luther.
Ah.
And I thought it was very, very interesting in Pigeon. It was very austere in Latin. Erge Domini or something. Oh, please, don't ask me to say more, because that's all I learned. O Lord, arise, for a wild boar has entered your vineyard. One fella, oh Lord, get up quick time. One fella pig no good. He bugger up and garden belong you.
One fella pig. No good.
Sorry, Luther.
You had a few kind of linguistic misunderstandings and...
Oh, that one up there in
Korea?
South Korea. I went up with a group of Amway agents in the days that Amway was all the rage. And I tried to ring men who had businesses, and I would get their secretaries and I would say, "I am a businesswoman from Australia, I would like to talk to your president." Didn't get one person. Then I found out what the translation of businesswoman was. Prostitute. So I'm a prostitute from Australia, I'd like to talk to you all. Yes. So I changed it and I got everyone. What I said was, I am a grandmother from Australia. A grandmother. Yeah, apparently
And
that's
tell us
right.
about the time when they took you to the printing press when you were in rural Thailand.
Aha, we were invited to a printing press. Well, I know in Papua New Guinea, printing press was very important. So one Sunday morning, we were invited to go to a printing press. And my daughter Susan and I, off we went, happily thinking, well, this will be interesting. We got to the back blocks of Thailand, and it was a preaching place. It was a church. But that was all right, except we were expected to take the service. We didn't know any Thai. So Susan, in her creative way, and I do commend her for this, she said, "All right, everybody, in a circle." And they got the idea of all the congregation got up and joined a big circle, and the big old man that was playing the drums went boom, 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 boom. And she put your left foot in, put your left foot out. Now, if you go to the back blocks of Thailand and you see a church service with that rather strange aberration in it, you'll know where it came from.
Spreading the good word, spreading the good word. And I love the misunderstanding you told me about. You may remember at the beginning I mentioned that Margaret had been a murder suspect.
Yes.
Tell us the story about Tex.
Tex, back to Amway. I was an Amway agent, and they sent a man to me one day to buy socks. And he was a rather unfortunate fella. He was sort of born betwixt and between a male and a female, but he was 6'6", he had a deep masculine voice, and his name was Tex, and he drove a truck. But every month he would turn up for a pair of Amway socks, and we got to be quite pally with him. I felt sorry for him, and he ended up coming to our church and not videoing, maybe videoing the children for their Christmas thing, and we became quite good friends in a way. When he had a hernia operation, I slipped over to the hospital just to visit him, And of course, as most people do with operation scars, they want to show you the scar. And he pulled the sheet down, and I saw why he was betwixt and between. His penis was the same size as my little finger. A little while later, over the radio came an announcement that a man had been found buried in his strawberry bed at the back of his house. Now, I knew Tex had a strawberry bed that was raised because he used to bring us strawberry jam. But he'd been decapitated, and therefore they couldn't identify the body. But loyal Australian that I was, I thought, well, I think I could identify this body. And I rang up Crime Stoppers, and I said to the woman, I can identify him by his penis. I mean, I've grown up since then. Yes, I'm sure. I wouldn't ever recommend anybody to ring Crime Stoppers ever again. But the head of the police was out at our place in a very short time, because they had a suspicion that two people who had killed him were prostitutes, and I was obviously, could be, the madam that had ordered. Anyway, they told me not to leave either Adelaide or even the country. I was banned until they investigated further. Fortunately, I was left off the hook.
I hate to think what else you might have left in your cupboard at home after you've taken out all these lovely prizes after you told me that story, Mark. All right, we're going to do one more round of the chocolate wheel because I know you're loving it.
Right. I love getting rid of them. If they're
everyone, get out your numbers and be ready. Come on. I know you want it. I'm not looking, I promise.
Right.
I'm just psychic. I can just tell who's got their eye on something.
Come on,
out it comes. All right, quick. She's a very hard taskmaster. And the number is number 33. Number 33, Green. I know you're out there. You cannot hide. Please don't hold the show up any longer.
Bring out another one.
All right.
Give them, if they can...
Ingrates. Number 38.
33 too, if you
38. They just don't want the prizes.
Righto, quick.
Oh, here you are, lovely lady.
No, it's Rob. It was over 33.
Rob's got 33. Absolute perfection. Here's the chocolate wheel. Round and round and round we go. Where it stops, nobody knows. I think it's a helpful hint for Rob. A helpful hint for Rob. Oh, a handkerchief. He'll have the handkerchief. Sorry, it did actually land on prize. I just was trying to rig it. So, right, handkerchief for Rob. And the chocolate bar. Is he allowed to have a chocolate bar?
Oh, yes.
Give him one. Give him a chocolate bar. Does everyone realise who Rolf is? Yes. Very good. You're all friends of Margaret's, aren't you? I can tell. It's very uncanny. It's unnerving. Woo! All right, one more. Oh, come on, look. Somebody's dying to get these lovely pink gardening gloves, aren't they?
Into the crowd.
Throw them into the crowd. All right, there you go. Wonderful. All right, hang on, one more. Quickly now. Woo! Taxi. Number 60. Number 60. Hey, number 60, up the back. It's your lucky night, sir. Round and round. Oh! Very good. And I think we might have stopped at a helpful hint.
Yeah.
I think that's the end of our
Give them
chocolate
another
wheel.
prize. Give them another prize.
Give the man a prize.
Yes.
Very good. A prize and a helpful hint. I think he's going to love this lovely set of blue serviettes. Take them back to the lovely, grateful gentleman. There you go. You can take that home. As I said before, contemplate the futility of ownership and life itself. Shall we give out who'd like this lovely packet of opaque pantyhose? You, madam, I think you want them. Of course you do. They're fantastic. And pass back those beautiful pair of hand-knitted emu egg covers. Somebody behind there is going to gratefully accept them. Come on, everything must go tonight, ladies and gentlemen. It's the last night of the show. There's a beautiful silver-plated picture frame there. I think number 57 should get that one, don't you? Absolutely. Where are you, number 57? Hand that back to the lucky gentleman.
This is actually a good prize.
That's a very good prize. I think we might stop there, don't you? Oh, hold on a minute. There's a lovely, lovely set of they look like
nice.
Chanel earrings. They're very nice. Let's give them to somebody who deserves them.
Cheap but nice.
Number 85. Number 85. 85. Up the back there. Very good. And would we like one more helpful hint, Margaret, just before we go? Number 35. A helpful hint is waiting for you
Remove
in
your
the
red
psychic
wine.
vaults.
Remove your red wine stains on your carpet or your tablecloth. Cover it with carb soda and leave it overnight, and presto, it'll come out. So
Fabulous. Better keep going. We'll hand out the cotton tips and that lovely helpful hint
Right.
to the lucky person. Where are you, number 35? Right, we didn't even know who that was. All right, let's give that instead to number 91. No, let's not. What about number 84?
I reckon they worked out what kind of prizes.
I reckon they worked it out, Margaret. They can see right through it. Perhaps we better get on with the show.
Yep, absolutely. Getting
Sad moment.
Right. We'll finish.
Right. The last part of our show we're going to talk about, we're actually going to get to the good stuff. We're going to talk about death. In a bit more earnest. And the thing that really shocked me when I met, well not shocked, but I was really moved to hear that Margaret nearly lost all three of her children at early stages of life. In fact, she did lose one of her children. You had several miscarriages, and your daughter Susan was nearly aborted. She was considered dead in utero, but at the last moment the anaesthetist found a pulse. And your daughter Anne was only conceived because of a student vote taken by Rob, because it was the Vietnam War, and the question was, well, should we even have another child?
Thank you, Emmanuel College senior students.
Thank you, Moran, who also happens to be our director tonight. I'm sure she's feeling very proud right now.
I'll tell you what, the look in his eye when he came out of that scripture class and put his hand above the door at the back of our house, says, well, we've got the okay.
But Anne nearly died when she was 2. She had a temperature of 106, she turned blue, they resuscitated her, and then your son Peter had a burst appendix when he was an infant, and you made a deal with God, didn't you?
That's right. I sort of pleaded with him to say, look, if you let him grow up to a man, so I can enjoy him, I promise I won't complain if you take him early. And he died at 27. And I was extraordinarily uplifted during that whole period. And it was that promise that kept me going.
So he was 27.
His daughter is here tonight. His little baby that he had. And she's got 2 little babies, only they're growing up not to be babies anymore. She's come all the way from Queensland. Christy.
And it's the most extraordinary story, Peter's death, because you went to see him because it was your birthday.
That's right.
Very shortly before he died.
That's right. And he called out, and I opened the front door. He said, Mother, I'm in the shower, I'm home alone, come on, come in, doesn't matter, you've seen it all. That's what marriage does to you. And I had, but not for a very long time. And I kept looking at his face while I was talking to him. And just as I was going, he just held his hands up. I can't lift this arm up. I can if I hold it. And he said, Mother, just look at this. It'll be the last time you'll see it. And he was looking up to the ceiling because they were about to pull down the back of their house next day.
But it came true, didn't it?
And it did come true. He was electrocuted while he was pulling down the house. And at the funeral, they wouldn't let the person that I sent to have a look to see if he looked all right, because I knew that sometimes people who've been electrocuted, their face goes all blotchy. And yes, they said, no, only the next of kin have to be the first. So I took his young wife and we had our arms around each other and we went up to the coffin with all these silent people standing behind watching. And we both spontaneously burst into laughter because he had this splotty face and this, because they'd done an autopsy, they had a sheer white collar covering up the cut, and he just looked so ridiculous. We just burst out laughing, and I thought, laugh in the face of death. Yes.
And this was about the time that you had taken those girls to the morgue, and they'd been teaching them about life and death and not being afraid of death, and you became a bit of an expert at death around this time, didn't you? You told me that wonderful story about when you went to visit the woman in Calvary Hospital who was very frightened.
Oh, come on, you're not going to get me to tell that story.
I am.
Oh dear, now I have to. The nuns called me over and said, look, we've got a woman, we can't control her. She just gets absolutely hysterical every night because she dreams that the devil comes to rape her. And she has kept her virginity until her old age. She wants to die a virgin. And this devil was getting more and more insistent every night. And, oh God, what am I going to tell a woman like that the nuns couldn't tell her? And I remember sitting alongside of her bed and said, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I know how to stop the devil. And I'm praying in the back of my mind as hard as I can pray, Lord, just give me some wisdom for this woman. And I got the words, get thou behind me, Satan, which is in the Bible. And I bent down to the woman, hopefully so that the nun at the end of the bed couldn't hear, and I said, what you say next time he comes, you say very strongly, piss off. I went there next morning to see if she was still alive. She was, and she had a big smile on her face, and she said, Margaret, it worked.
She died a happy woman.
She did. They wanted me to give a talk at the seminary about visiting people who were dying, and I said, no. I would now.
I think you're doing it now. And some of you in the room will know this story, but some of you won't. And I think you heard me say at the very beginning that Margaret rode a motorbike for 50 years until it killed her 3 years ago. And it's an extraordinary story, the story of your own death. Because I know that an incredible thing happened. Margaret had such a bad accident. She had a brain hemorrhage. Her pelvis was so badly damaged, the word they used was pulverised. They weren't sure if she'd ever be able to walk again. And at one stage she was lying in the hospital, and this was the inspiration for doing this show tonight. She was lying in the hospital, and all of the specialists were standing there earnestly discussing whether or not they would revive this woman, given how sick she was, and how, the brain hemorrhage, and whether or not she didn't even know she'd be able to be compos mentis again, and whether or not she'd ever be able to walk. And would we resuscitate her if she died? And Margaret opened her eyes and looked up and said, I'm not dead yet.
I don't remember.
But you do remember dying.
It took me 2 months before I could remember anything. But I had the clearest vision. I was coming home from a book launch, and as I was going through the parkland towards West Terrace here in Adelaide, all of a sudden I saw a really, really, really shiny line going off to the right of me, and I stopped the bike because I thought, what kind of polish did they use on that? And then I realised that the light was coming from underneath and it was illuminated. And then I saw, over the other side of the line, my son. And he had Peter, and he had his arms stretched out towards me, and he's smiling, dressed in his best clothes, and he said, Mother, it's time we were together. It's been 30 years, and he had a smile on his face. I'm about to lift my leg over the shiny line into his arms, and there was a tuck in my trouser pocket. I looked down, and it was a granddaughter who lived in Paris at the time, and she said, "No, you can't go yet, I need you." And I looked up to Peter and I said, "Eternity's a long time, Peter. We'll be together for that, but not just yet." I didn't even hesitate. That granddaughter is now living with me, and she's just come out of a big operation, waiting to hear whether it is ovarian cancer, but they've taken away a big growth that was like a small football. And if she had been over where she had been living, I don't think she could have had that operation. So I feel very good about the next time I die.
And something, I mean, I'm sure we're all very curious to know, is I was very moved to hear it when you told me the story.
Oh.
Death left you with something.
It was when I could start remembering 2 months afterwards, I could not remember anything that made me feel unhappy. I tried. I used to lie in my bed in the hospital, in the brain injury unit, and think, now, what used to make me sad? What used to happen that was sad? What? There must be something. And I couldn't think of nothing. And that lasted 6 months, almost a year. I'm back.
But you still told me that day, you said, "I don't have any more fear of death."
No, certainly I don't have any fear of death. I mean, Peter's standing there just waiting, and it was so real that it seems inconceivable that it was just a dream. Oh, no pain, no memory of any pain. And when I was interviewed on the radio, the doctor who was coming before must have been listening in, and he rang up and they interviewed him. So I got proof.
Death is definitely overrated.
Right, can we end with what Rolf
Yeah.
had traditionally told his students? My husband was the principal of the Church Teachers College, and one of his students said, "I want to write a story of your life, and I want that saying," and we've tried to remember it, but here it is, as sketchily as we can remember between us all. Rolf said to his students, "You've got to teach them how to live, not just how to make a living. Teach them to love, because unless they know how to love, they won't know how to live. Teach them to laugh, because that's how they'll enjoy living. And teach them to die, because unless they know how to die, they won't know how to live."
Amen. One more handy hymn.
No, we can do that at the end. I want to bow now. I might never get around to it.
All right. I thought you were going to give us a handy hint on how to bow.
Oh, how to bow. Yes. My grandmother was brought up in royal circles. So that's another story. Maybe it's another show. I don't think so. And she taught me as a little toddler, not a toddler, I was about 8, how to do the royal bow. And you've been a royal audience. You've definitely got me into the book of records. You laughed beautifully. And, where's my stick?
Oh, here it is. Hang on. Oh.
Where is it?
Oh, it's over here. Hold on. You hold that. We've got a minute.
Right, quick, run. Come on, Rach. Fasten that. Right. Okay.
Right.
I'll need it. And you, I hold my hand.
Yes.
Right. Now this is the royal bow. This is for you. Ready? Down and back and up.
Margaret, everybody.
Great.
We've done it. Thank you so much for coming. Margaret will be here after the show if you want to talk to her. Thank you for joining prize.
Now, if everyone can